Good evening out there to all my viewers and prospective new viewers. I hope you come across my channel. William B. Strong here. You can call me WBS or Will. And this is my state of affairs. I jumped on tonight unscheduled. I've been watching a lot of what's going on in the Ukraine and the battle with the Russians. You know, we're still getting very inconsistent and broken information coming out of the war zone. It's not being covered as a lot of wars have in the past with embedded journalists, because those journalists were usually embedded with American forces. So that's going to make a lot of the news corporations shy away from embedding reporters with either the Russian forces or the Ukraine forces. So the brave men and women that are there are generally citizens. And those citizens are sending out raw reports on TikTok, on YouTube, and other social media devices if they can get on the internet somehow. So our thanks go out to them. But you know, some of the things that have occurred in the last 5 days, and this is day 5 of this war, the war of the Russians invading the sovereign state of Ukraine. The most significant thing is, number one, is President Zelenskyy of the Ukraine. This guy is like the new George Washington, in a sense, here in America for the Ukrainian people. The president is leading the resistance on the ground. He has not fled the country. He has not left to go to Poland or one of the NATO states and operate in Ostentia. Despite him being given an offer by the United States to give him a ride out of there, he basically says, I don't need a ride, I need weapons. And what a great answer. What a great answer from a guy that was an entertainer before he was elected president. And that shows you sometimes that people have leadership and they don't have to be politicians. In fact, a lot of politicians don't have any spine at all. They're terrible leaders. So salute to President Zelenskyy for rallying the Ukrainian people, the tough Ukrainian people who have decided to stay and fight for their country. That's honor right there. The women and children and any elderly that can get out are basically being moved to the western part of the country or across the border into places like Poland. The men age 18 to 60 are being held back mandatorily, no option there, to fight for their country. And I suspect that any man worth salt, his salt, is going to pick up a rifle and shoot the invaders as they come towards his doorstep. What would you say as a 25-year-old or 30-year-old Ukrainian man if you ran from this battle? What would you say to other families that know you or know your family? They're going to say, what did you do? Where were you? And what are you going to say? You fled to another country? And you let everybody stay behind and do their dirty work for you? I don't even want to hear that. That would be unacceptable. If that came to our country here in the United States, would you pick up a weapon and defend your country? At my age, I would do that. I have my military uniform hanging in my closet if I need to put it back on. I own weapons that if I need to use them, I'm ready to go. I don't need the government to give me a weapon. Most Americans in this country have their own weapons. We don't need the government to hand us a weapon. We're ready to go. We're ready to fight in the trenches to defend this country, the country we love. And that's exactly what the Ukrainian people are doing now. Now, this is only day 5. Let's not kid ourselves. The Russian military is on the march. They're on the march to Kyiv, the capital city of the Ukraine. The Russians call it Kiev. The Ukrainians call it Kyiv. Okay? Either way, they're on the march to the capital city. Putin is going to take down the capital. Now, he's been playing pretty much now with gloves on, but he is getting frustrated because the Russian war plan is behind schedule. He wants to have Kyiv in his possession by the end of this week. I'll be shocked by the end of Friday if he's not in control in Kyiv. Now, what does control mean? It means he basically has control of the roads leading to, in, and out of Kyiv. That doesn't mean he's locked down every building and killed the resistance there. That's not going to happen. The Ukrainian people and resistant fighters will continue, and they're going to be well armed as much as possible, because now almost all NATO allies led by the United States and the UK are pouring weapons and ammunition into the western part of Ukraine. And there's no doubt that's being led by, and I don't care what the government says, it's being led by United States Special Forces and CIA operatives, period. That's how that's going down. Okay, that network is there. Now, those weapons are coming across the border in secret ways that you'll never know about, but that's happening. We're going to supply the Ukrainian government and their troops on the ground, and we've made no bones about that. That's been a clear message. So that's a significant thing, and we should do that. President Zelenskyy deserves that for the leadership he's showing there on the ground. He is trying to lengthen this conflict, but ultimately, Putin is not going to back down. He's going to take what he wants. He is not going to lose face in this. He is already embarrassed, and he's not going to lose face. What he's going to do, he's going to step it up. And when the bombs start raining, there will be more civilian casualties. For the Ukraine army to resist, they must play a hit and run game, just like the American forces did against the British back during our independence. It's very, very important that they don't try to stand up in large engagements against the Russians. They'll never survive that. They need to do hit and run on the Russian troops as much as possible and make it difficult for them to come forward. But the Russians have about what's been reported as a 17-mile convoy of troops and supplies coming towards the capital. So we've got to keep an eye on that. But even better, more severe sanctions have been placed on Russia. Their financial markets have almost collapsed. The Russian ruble is worthless at this point. Now we've cut off exports on their oil, which is further going to take down their economy. This is a huge sanction, and we're all united in the world against Putin. I see this as Putin's last stand. This is his last opportunity. And he has stepped into a very large hole that even is not quite popular at home, but they can't show protests there. Those are illegal. There are thousands of protesters who have been arrested now in the streets of major cities in Russia to show their disdain for this Russian invasion. I'm telling you, Putin will not survive this one. he will not survive this between his own people and the Ukrainians fighting against him. This is very important stuff. If you want more details, there's some very good programming on YouTube and on your national news, obviously. There is one program there that I found very interesting. It's called PL News Live by Patrick Lancaster, an Englishman. He is running with the Russian forces, but he claims to be an independent reporter with a GoFundMe site, self-funded. I find his reporting not independent. I find it biased, a bias towards the Russians. Now, is he doing that because he's running with the Russians? But then don't say you're biased. Don't say you're independent, because the way he asks his questions, the way he lays out his stories, it shows a very pro-Russian, anti-Ukraine type broadcast. If you want to watch it, go ahead, but make sure you understand what he's saying. That's it here tonight. William B. Strong, My State of Affairs, and let's pray for the Ukrainian people. And again, salute to President Zelenskyy. Keep up the good fight, and we'll keep bringing you the latest here on this channel. Thanks for joining me. Good night, and be safe out there.